Hey guys, Dark Prometheus here. Welcome to our Starfield playthrough. What you'll see at the beginning of this video, up in the title, well, down in the title technically, is you'll see either a story or a exploration little tab there that'll kind of tell you what this episode's all about, if we're doing questing story stuff or if we're exploring. So generally what we're going to do is kind of split it like that. We're going to hit a lot of story, and towards the end maybe there'll be some more exploration stuff. So hopefully you'll enjoy this playthrough of Starfield. It's gonna be a mix of live stream and also recorded stuff, so hopefully you have some fun. Let's get right into it.
Appointments to be made, but I can spare a moment. Plenty on offer, if your credits are good.
Oh, I don't need any of those.
Well, that's a fancy ship. There's something you needed then. Always willing to help.
Like I need that.
I'm listening. Just giving this place a survey.
Well, I gotta adjust my phone up so I can see it. There we go.
I can probably help you out.
There's lubricant, not sealant. Go to the vigilance.
Welcome, Captain. We've been expecting you. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Very well.
We've docked. I'm sure whoever's in that ship will be thrilled to see.
Vigilance is an amazing ship. Oh, it's too bad Constellation can't afford something this impressive.
If we could afford something like this, it'd be insane.
Econde's on level 2. Try not to touch anything until he actually clears you.
Okay, hello.
So there's two ways to actually get this mission. You get caught with contraband, but you end up in the prisoner area. You end up in here,
Go on. I will leave the commander.
the interrogation room.
You can always come back and chat later.
But one thing I can't figure out is,
Yes?
oh, and whoever we capture will end up in here. Looks like is it actually snowing outside? We'll take a look. They're playing in Chicago, so we're playing here. Curious.
Captain, greetings.
Welcome aboard the UC Vigilance. Did you have any questions before I escort you to the commander?
What can you tell me about the vigilance?
I'm not authorized to divulge information about this vessel. Suffice to say, it's one of the toughest ships in the UC's arsenal.
There's a little bit of snow, not much. Before I meet the commander, is there anything I should know?
Yeah, listen to him carefully. The commander's a one and done kind of officer.
Okay.
In other words, he hates to repeat himself. Other than that, just observe standard military decorum, and it should keep you from serving any time on the ship's cleaning detail.
Um.
All right, this way, please. So, you're the vanguard that took down that terramorph on Tau Ceti. You've made quite an impression around here. Everyone upstairs is talking about it. Damn, that must have been one hell of a firefight. I almost regret missing out on all the fun. Of course, we don't normally see that kind of action on the Vigilance, but we have our moments. All right, Vanguard. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Akande should be waiting for you. Good luck.
It's definitely a cooler way to get up to get this mission. Issued by the Vanguard.
Excuse me.
Wow. This is a real ops center.
Pardon?
Oh yeah, I wish we had a ship like this. Can we take over the Vigilance?
Hello.
Now's not the time. We'll speak after you've been briefed by Commander Akande.
Where does that go to? It's a view deck. Oh.
Hello.
This is the con.
Pardon.
Okay. Or navigation.
Yeah.
So this would be typically.
Hello.
Yeah, this would be the bridge. The one that we were in would be the CIC. Can I get a picture of us and the CIC? Cowboy man. Cowboy man taking the helm. This is cool.
Hey.
There's no one we can talk to here. It's starting to snow like hell in Chicago. Downtown Chicago.
Impressive ship for battle, instead of using it for exploration.
Well, she had to build one
believe
for
we
it.
have something important to discuss.
Yes, we do.
There you are. Commander Kibwe Kande, UC System. Glad to have you aboard. I was beginning to think you were having second thoughts about Commander Dwala's offer.
I'm here to do my part. Isn't that a saying that's in Starship Troopers?
Excellent. Then let's get right to it, shall we? This is the operations center of the UC Vigilance. SysDef's nerve center, dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet.
You're gonna need more than one ship to eliminate the entire. What exactly is a Crimson Fleet?
That's strange. According to your file, they were the pirates that attacked you.
Where's the Vigilance located now?
We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily.
Impressive ship. I don't see where I fit in. We're gonna need more than one ship to eliminate an entire fleet.
Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse.
I'm assuming you already have a plan in mind?
I do. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention.
She could probably sniff on a narc from a sector away.
That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal.
Okay.
Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know.
Why bother gathering evidence?
Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit.
Okay.
If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow.
Sounds like a plan. This is the best plan you got? You must have quite a bit of confidence in my abilities.
If I didn't have
the reason for that
confidence in your
fist pump,
abilities, I would have told Commander Tuala to send someone else. Remember, this
was a great
entire
throw by
operation
Justin Fields.
rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down.
What if I get in over my head?
Then you better learn to swim, because you're diving right into the
I mean,
deep end on
we're
this
going
one.
to the belly of the beast,
I've
so
studied your profile. I know you can do this. I'm not about to throw away someone's life on a whim or a prayer. Just use your best judgment. Trust your instincts. Watch your back.
I'll do my
I
best.
wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control.
What do you mean by straight too far off the path?
The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money. All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that?
Can you explain the code of conduct or code of ethics?
To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only
Don't
when
kill
it's
innocent people.
absolutely necessary.
Makes
At
sense.
the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good.
I can stay the course.
That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck.
I'm gonna need all the luck I can get. I think. What happens if I get arrested while undercover?
For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines.
Okay. Do you have any other information about Sornice Bowden?
All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant.
Okay.
I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got.
This is going to be a bit difficult, probably. How will I maintain contact with you?
That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for
An alarm went off.
Beyond that, you're completely on your own.
OFP. Okay.
You have your orders.
You don't know what OFP is? It means you're on your own fucking program. OFP.
All right. We don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is
Okay.
that understood?
We need physical evidence.
Well, since it isn't every day we stumble across a criminal's fully written confession, we need to build a case against our suspects. The more evidence we acquire, the stronger our case becomes. And knowing the Crimson Fleet, they'll leave plenty of evidence for you to find.
True. What if I can't find anything?
I'd scour every inch of wherever the Crimson Fleet sends you. Otherwise, you're wasting our time and risking your neck for nothing.
Okay.
Criminals are sloppy. Look hard enough and I'm certain you'll stumble across their mess.
Nice throw. That's if I'm accepted.
You better make it, because Commander Akande cashed in all his chips to get this operation off the ground.
Okay.
I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig.
We're trying to imprison the pirates or kill them?
Haven't you been paying attention? Our goal here is the complete eradication of the Crimson Fleet. In order to do that, we need to dismantle them piece by piece from within.
Okay.
If you bring me evidence, we can make arrests and slowly drain their resources. Think of it as a death by 1,000 tiny cuts.
Sounds like I touched a nerve.
It's not you, it's the Crimson Fleet. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard.
Okay. Feel like talking about it?
What? No. It's personal. It has nothing to do with you. Just stick to the mission and you'll be fine.
I'll bring you as much evidence as I can find.
That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts.
Why would you be paying credits during a military operation?
Well, that's just it. You're not career military, are you? And speaking frankly, you're completely out of pocket during this operation. You'll be paying for your own supplies and other unexpected incidentals.
Okay.
So, if I were you, I'd stop asking questions and accept the compensation.
That's very generous.
It's not generous, it's motivational. Commander Akande's idea. All right. We've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed.
What if I get caught?
Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Even if you're scanned. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation,
I would never.
Tell you the consequences of making that mistake.
It's gonna happen to people you arrest.
We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete. So, we'll be holding them in the Vigilance's brig.
Yeah, so they can't warn
If
the
you're
rest of the
feeling
fleet.
Particularly ruthless. You could always head down there and say hello. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to see you.
Okay.
Not really, no.
It'll make you feel better.
Yeah. Maybe. No, it's not really an appropriate time to be going over my private life. There are much more important things to be done. Let's just stick to the job at hand and concentrate on the mission. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time, okay?
Okay.
We'll be here if you need us.
Alright, down to Sidonia.
Yes. What?
I know there's also a pilot we can talk to. It's not this one, it's down here. This one.
Vanguard. I don't know about you.
I'll earn your trust in time.
You might. But we aren't at that point yet. And right now, I have my reservations that we'll ever get there. But if Commander Ikonde says you're Sistef, then you are one of us. For now.
Where'd you learn to fly?
I cut my teeth on space trucks, believe it or not. Before I got my stripes, I was just another cargo hauler trying to earn an honest wage. But after a couple slick escapes, I got recruited to the academy and went from dodging pirates to hunting them. Thing is, some of my best tricks were with a big rig. Ever try a pitchback with a Hope Tech truck with 2 fleet wraiths on your tail? Compared to that, doing it with a military fighter is a piece of cake.
That's funny. This man is a literal god. How'd you get involved with this stuff?
I got my start in the academy and made a name for myself hunting the Crimson Fleet. I eventually got recruited to do test flights on a star station orbiting Lloyden's Rock. Me and 3 other Archangel pilots did some work on some extremely dangerous prototypes. But I caught in a few favors and got back home with Sistef. Someone with my talents needs to be here, where the action is.
I don't remember if Lloyden Rock's in Solar. It's probably in Lloyden.
You guessed it. In fact, I'd say you've got what linguistic experts call FOGO, a firm grasp of the obvious. But I'm not just any
As opposed to FOMO.
I'm the best, and I've got the
Bad
kills to
joke.
prove it.
I bet you I could fly circles around you.
I like your confidence. And there's always room in the squad for another apex predator. Just be sure you know whose side you're on.
I would
Stay
love
frosty.
to fly with you one day, Alex.
Hello, Captain.
All right. Down to Sidonia. Down to Sidonia. Down to Sidonia. I got something for you, Bowden. Introduce me to your pals. Introduce me to your pals.
Sidonia can have a depressing effect on
Hey, take your time. And ask me if you need... Cool.
Wait,
See you around.
that's not the right. This is the right
If you're here
person.
to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy.
I'm here to talk to you. I'm looking to unload a sensitive shipment.
And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC security sticking their noses into.
Yes.
I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me?
I'm looking to take a look at the sample.
Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
The Trade Authority turning away contraband. Now I've seen everything.
If you can't handle it, point to me someone who can.
All I'm going to point at is the ceiling, with my middle finger. Get that stuff out of here before UC security catches on. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit.
If I just blow your brains out and ask someone else?
Sure, go ahead. You shoot me, and the TA will have bounty hunters on your ass before you even get back to the spaceport. Listen, love, I've heard it all. Threats bounce right off. So either cough up the finder's fee or try and
Sarah
sell
didn't like
shipment
that, but
on
we're
me.
already married, so it's okay.
You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you.
Well, well. It appears she suddenly remembers everything. How nice.
There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear.
Okay.
Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Well, well. Back for more, eh?
How's it going? Can I help you?
Okay, see this contact.
I sure hope this hearing loss isn't permanent.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away.
Heard you might be able to help me with some cargo.
Oh yeah? Well, I don't know who the hell you are. So what makes you think I'm going to help you out?
Bowden said you could help me move some of this.
Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first.
Who's we and us? I thought I was dealing with you.
You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy.
No problem.
Right down to business. And no small talk. I like it.
Well, this is utterly ridiculous. Do we really have to jump through these hoops to get what we need from you?
Lady, if you want me to move that shipment for your pal here, you're going to do whatever the hell I want. You got that?
Do you want to die,
Now
Kemp?
listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back.
How loud do you want this to be?
What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over.
Alright.
Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
Well, this is interesting. Now we're running criminal errands.
I heard you helped out Mitch. I know he won't give
This
up
one.
looking for the rest of those books.
I have a pen pal in New Atlantis. We've never met in person.
He does look pretty miserable, so...
Something I can help you with?
I'm here to collect the credits you owe to Adler Kemp.
Adler Kemp? Who the heck is that?
I don't really have to do you owe money to anyone or not?
Of course I owe money. Unless you're independently wealthy. Everyone's in debt nowadays. I owe Deimos. I owe my landlord. I owe Galbank. Heck, I have a tab at Parsec Deep at Cespear. It's an endless list. So why don't you just leave me here? Let me get drunk and find someone else to bother. Okay?
I really don't have time to play games.
What? Play what games? You're obviously confusing me with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day. in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been fun, though. Whatever.
I'm sure your funeral will be lovely.
Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Adler, was it? Hmm? Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone
This guy.
else.
This guy.
I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Hmm? Sound good?
No.
Huh?
I don't think he's going to be satisfied with that option.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now. Okay? He can't squeeze blood from a stone.
True.
Right?
Perhaps he's already been through enough.
Promise to stop borrowing for Adler and I'll pay the debt for you.
Holy crap. Really? You'd do that for me?
I mean, he's drunk.
Wow.
He's going to keep on borrowing from
I don't
Adler
even know
anyway.
what to say. Thank you. For everything. And don't worry. I'll never borrow anything from Adler again. I promise.
And we know that was a lie.
Worker robot coming through.
Space Frog. Everyone loves Space Frog. Space Frog, best frog. Space Frog.
Hey, I heard a rumor that you're the one who made the new equipment possible.
Have something for me?
Yeah, it's all here.
There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message?
You got the message.
Nice. Nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates?
You think they can handle me?
That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself.
Okay.
Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
Ooh.
Sometimes I wish I'd taken an easier job.
No way is it worth living in Leon.
Neva, sit down, have a drink. So, smooth jump into the Soul system? UC security hassle you?
Cut the crap, Adlin. Let's make this quick. There's only so long I can stand a sink of minor sweat and stale beer.
Okay, okay, take it easy. Here's the fleet kickback, just like I promised.
What is this bullshit? This is half. Half of what you promised.
No reason to get upset, sweetie. Security around Sidonia's been cracking down, and it's tough to get the Deimos marks to play ball. That means I'm spending big on bribes, covering lost shipments. This isn't exactly like running a pharmacy out here, you know.
Two things, Adler. And I'm gonna make this simple enough so even a total imbecile like yourself can understand. One, I don't give a damn about your excuses. You owe us the agreed amount on time every month. And two, you call me sweetie again. And I'll shove my knife so far up your ass that people will mistake you for a unicorn.
Okay. Sorry, Neva. I'll make it work. Here's the rest.
That's more like it. I'll see you in a month.
Oh god, that's a good one.
After you, Captain.
Wow. Look who finally had the guts to show up. So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew.
Damn right I am.
You betting your life on that? Because the only way out of our organization is with a warhead up your grab drive. So, before I put you to work, let's get everything out in the open. I don't know if Adler mentioned it, and for his sake, I hope he hasn't. But you aren't about to sign up with any average pirate crew. You're signing up with the Crimson Fleet. That's if you get through this little task I have planned for you. There's a medical supply ship called the Ragana, jumping into Enceladus's orbit. On board that ship, you'll find a traitor named Austin Rake. I want him dead.
Why not I ship some actual loot?
This job isn't about the loot, but I suppose every dog needs its scraps. Keep whatever worthless junk is on that ship. Just remember, the only thing that matters is that Rake dies.
Okay, we need to move Rake probably over that. What options do I have?
Kill Rake? That's your only option? If you want my advice, there's only one way to guarantee he dies. Turn the Ragana into space junk. Only way to be sure.
Okay, consider it done.
It's done when Rake's head back here when you're finished.
So that's the notorious Neva Mora. I have to say, if she's the finest that the Crimson Fleet has to offer, joining them might be a terrible mistake.
Rake used to run with the fleet. Hell, I'm the one who vouched for him in the first place. Back then he had a different name and a different identity. He was a damn good earner, too. Brought in a ton of creds. Everything was fine until he wanted out. So he ran. And nobody, I mean, nobody, runs away from the fleet. I've been tracking Rick for months. He changes his location and identities, but you know what? It's worth every...
You know what I am gonna do though, right? Because I want to level up. I'm gonna land. On Europa and get this.
Let's put this bird on the ground.
I don't remember what... Europa's around Jupiter. There's Jupiter. In the big red spot.
We'll be lucky if we pull anything organic off this rock.
you don't know, this is, and for many pictures you'll see of Jupiter, you'll never see the slight rings that are around Jupiter. But they do exist. They are very, very faint, but they are there. Most of the time, Jupiter pulls a lot of that debris into itself. Io, Callisto, Ganymede. Where are we going? Enceladus. Here it is.
Pilot of the Regana. We are a simple transport ship heading to New Homestead. We do not want any trouble.
Looks like trouble found you. You've drawn attention of the Crimson Fleet.
I was afraid of that. Look, we are not built for combat. What is it you want exactly?
The fleet wants Austin Rake dead. I'd like to board your ship and talk about how to spare him.
Oh God, I do not know. Well, normally I would say no, but frankly it will be safer for us that way.
It will be.
You can dock. We will talk then.
Like a glove.
Like a glove.
I am not sure what to make of you being here. If you wanted to kill us, you could have done that from your ship.
True.
If you wanted our cargo, we could have jettisoned it. I guess I should just stop talking and let you say your piece.
I don't know who's listening over comms. This is safer.
That is true. Which means you don't want somebody to know what you are really up to.
Yes.
Now, do you mind telling us what this is all about?
The fleet wants Rake dead, and I want to resolve this without violence. Well, why risk your lives to protect Rake?
I will not murder a man in cold blood. You will have to...
Okay, very well.
You really do not know which one of us is Rake, do you? And you do not seem to care either, which makes me think you really want to save him. Okay, I have idea. We can strike his name from Manifest, make it so he was never on board. Then, when we dock, we will leave him on this ship and deliver him to another port.
Deliver him to SysDev. If the fleet finds out about this deal, we're both exposed.
That is fair. We do not want any part of the fleet. Is that all right with you, Austin?
Do I have a choice?
It does not appear you do. Well then, it is agreed. You go back to your ship and we will make sure Rake was never on ours. And in case any of your handlers get suspicious, here. We had an extra crate of supplies loaded, in case one got damaged. This should be proof you were not here to bargain.
This unpleasantness aside, the people of New Homestead will be grateful for the supplies. Thank you for letting us go.
So you're the fleet's new dog, huh?
I thought we were.
If you ever get to the key, you better sleep with one eye open and 2 pistols loaded.
The key, okay. I guess that is the key to get to the key. We might as well just land on here and do what we came here to do.
Landing struts primed. Retros firing.
There's some. Okay.
Damn mercs just don't know how to take a hit. Hey, Rook, wanna help me with some target practice? Is that your best shot?
You took out their shields ago. Take them out. Enemy's jump drive is offline.
Let's do this.
They ghost grab jump capability. We've taken out their shields.
All right.
Thanks for the help with the Ecliptic. I had it under control, but it definitely went faster after you jumped into the fight. Now tell me about the Ragana. Give me some good news, then we can go celebrate.
Ostenreich is dead. The Regana survived.
No kidding. That'll make Delgado happy, seeing as our hands are clean. I would have preferred if you hadn't left witnesses behind, but at least you got the job done. Anyway, you wanted into the Crimson Fleet? Well, you're in. Yep, it's that simple.
Okay.
This business with Rake's taught you something. Because I'm about to stick my neck out and vouch for you. If you screw up, and I wind up looking like an asshole, I'm gonna send someone after you. We clear?
Best decision you've ever made.
Yeah? Last person who said that was Rake. yourself a hole about 6 feet deep. And now that you know the deal, it's time to see what you signed up for.
Okay.
I'm gonna upload the coordinates for our headquarters in the Crick system. Spacers call it the key, the fleet calls it home. Head out there as soon as you can. Don't keep me waiting long.
Okay.
And you didn't even scratch the paint.
Commander Ikonde runs a tight ship, so I suggest we be on our best behavior.
I had a friend.
We go up, right?
People joke. Say those Varun zealots worship a snake. Well, it ain't a snake. It's some kind of celestial being.
No, it's here. It is here.
Howdy. Do you have anything to report? We got the message from the Regana about Austin Rick. We had him dropped off at a separate port, off the books. Suffice to say, he's got a lot to answer for.
That he does. At any point in trying to get Rake to give up information about the fleet?
That's something we're looking into, but it doesn't seem like he knows much. He might be better served as bait. For now, we'll keep him in the brig. Perhaps you could pay him a visit there sometime? I'm sure he'd be pleased to see you.
I'm glad he surrendered.
That's a smart line to follow. Part of this role you're playing means having to make hard choices. Just remember not to lose yourself in the part.
I'll do my part to make certain that doesn't happen, Commander.
Oh, one more thing before we move on. For transparency's sake, you should know we were the ones that hired Ecliptic to attack Neva's ship. There was concern after what happened with the Regana that you might have trouble earning Neva's trust. Coming to her rescue ensured that would not be a problem.
A clever way. Who doesn't have problem with attacking the Crimson Fleet?
They are mercenaries for hire. If they are paid enough money, Ecliptic would attack the Vigilance. It wasn't terribly difficult to convince them to attack an isolated Crimson Fleet ship. Just expensive.
True. It's clever.
Ah, so I take it you have good news. Were you able to join the fleet?
It does seem like I passed their initial test.
Then it worked. You're in. Sounds like everything is going as expected. Now it's time for the next phase of the mission.
Our intel on Saoirse was correct. After we received reports on your interaction with Adler Kemp, we picked up on your rendezvous with Neva Mora.
Our files indicate she's second in command, so getting on her good side will ensure you get into the Crimson Fleet.
What do you know about Neva?
The woman has a record that could stretch across Sol and back. She started young as one of Neon's street rats, and worked her way up to second in command. She's a force to be reckoned with, so don't underestimate her.
Okay. Everything's going according to plan.
You pass your first test and you're still alive. But before we get too confident, that either means she suspects nothing, or she intends to make an example of you later. Just remember, these are ruthless criminals, so don't let your guard down.
And their ruthlessness is only surpassed by their cunning. You should proceed with caution, regardless of how well you think you've ingratiated yourself.
So, what's next for you on Neva's agenda?
Can I get off vigilance before my cover's blown?
The Vigilance is equipped with one of the most advanced intelligence suites in the UC fleet. Nothing slips through. You can rest assured, if the Crimson Fleet had any access to our whereabouts or had infiltrated our security, we'd know. As long as you're here, your identity is safe.
I was told to meet Neva at the key.
Where you'll meet Delgado, no doubt.
Delgado is the leader of the Crimson Fleet. I have a profile here with some information on his background.
Send that to me.
You'll want to know the individual cadences of every member of the fleet, but Delgado's most of all.
Agreed. The last thing we need is to infiltrate the fleet, only to be kicked out because we've underestimated one of their people.
I don't disagree, but it's important to know your enemy and the best way to defeat them. In any case, now that you're with the fleet, you'll be operating independently. We will shadow you eventually, but we'll need to maintain our distance for now, especially while you're on the key.
Oh,
This
yeah.
will also give us time to bolster our defenses, should we need to engage with the fleet in the future.
Sir, on that note, shall we begin implementing the upgrade to our shields?
Immediately, Lieutenant. Notify the engineers and relay the information to the crew. I hope your entry into the fleet has overcome any doubts you may have had regarding your mission. It certainly increased my estimates on success. Keep up the good work. We'll expect further reports. Dismissed.
Okay.
We don't have a full... Things are progressing rather quickly. I'm sure the commander is pleased.
Why is it called the Crick system?
The system was originally called Alpha Ophiuchi, until a flag was planted there by Jasper Crix, the founder of the Crimson Fleet. Since it was crucial that space travelers avoided that system, navigators marked it as Crix on star maps as a warning.
Okay.
They could have just as easily labeled it Crimson Fleet, so I'm guessing the pirates themselves were responsible for spreading their leader's name. Over the years, people forgot the system's original designation and started calling it the Crix system. It's been that way ever since.
Do you have any detailed information about the Crimson Fleet?
Sure. We have a database of profiles you can read, which should help you ingratiate yourself with the group. However, the profiles are a guide, not gospel. Use what you can, fill in the blanks, and play off that. I imagine when you're done, you'll be able to generate far more accurate profiles than what we have in our system.
You mentioned the vigilance upgrading and shielding.
That's right. It's something we've requested a while ago, in preparation for a future conflict with the fleet. Once we finalize everything and run a few tests, we'll have the defenses needed for a jump to the Crick system when the time comes.
Why hold prisoners aboard vigilance when you can send them directly to prison?
2 reasons. First, Commander Akande's playing this operation extremely close to the vest. That means keeping prisoners under his own roof until this is resolved.
Makes sense.
Second, this is an undercover mission. For our safety and yours, we need to keep these prisoners out of the spotlight.
I have evidence for you.
Glad to hear it. Let's see what you got.
I've discovered some information about Adler Kemp.
Interesting. Looks like he's been meeting up regularly with Neva Mora to transfer goods and cash from Sidonia. Which means the Crimson Fleet's just lost one of their drop points. That should set them back a bit. Anything else?
All I have.
All right. Good luck on the key.
We've been trying for years to get someone on the inside, and now we have it.
I'd like to return the medical supplies I got from the Borgana.
Thank you. I wasn't sure what you were planning to do with them, or if you still needed them for your cover. We'll make sure they get transported to their original destination.
What is the primary directive of SysDef?
Our directive is simple. We are tasked with the eradication of space piracy in the settled systems. As the chief source of pirate activity, the Crimson Fleet is our primary target.
Alright. Can you tell me more about my... Why doesn't the UC send a fleet to attack the key?
I've asked my superiors the same thing. But the Council is resistant to the notion that the Crimson Fleet is a serious threat. They perceive the pirates as simple opportunists and thieves, willing to betray each other the moment a better offer arrives. In actuality, I believe the fleet is a massive threat, One that's growing more and more organized as the years pass.
Makes sense. Why are you so determined to destroy the fleet?
They're a menace to civilized society. They attack supply ships, terrorize systems, and kill innocents, all under a banner of greed. But it's not just that. I strongly believe that the UC has a duty to destroy the Crimson Fleet. After all, it was our fault that the Crimson Fleet was unleashed upon the settled systems in the first place.
Really? How is the UC responsible for the origin?
I'm not at liberty to explain the origin of the Crimson Fleet right now, but suffice to say, it's a massive embarrassment to the UC. All I can tell you is that the key and the planet that it's orbiting once belonged to the United Colonies, and they were lost to those pirates. The Crimson Fleet is a product of our negligence, and I aim to rectify that mistake.
Okay. How critical was the cargo being delivered to New Homestead?
Extremely critical. It's unfortunate the Regana caught itself in the crossfire of Neva Mora's personal vendetta. Fortunately, your actions allowed the Regana to reach New Homestead with its cargo intact. And you even returned the extra supplies that were jettisoned. We'll make sure they find the right home.
Okay.
Best of luck. You are headed into a snake pit.
Okay, let's look at the profiles. Heather Kemp. Okay, we know. His office terminal. Okay. Delgado. Virginia Henry from Aquila City. Delgado fell into crime at a young age. Okay. Dropship used to initiate himself. He's prone to rash judgment. He keeps tight rein on the Crimson Fleet. Okay. His office terminal.
Sure to watch your step.
Got a wager going over there.
Well, Mr. Dunnington, your diagnostics check out some of that.
Vigilance is a state-of-the-art warship. Anyone that gets it wrong.
Where's his office?
You're starting to get some fans around here. I still don't buy it, though. React. How's the pirating business? Later, Gator.
Later, Gator. I don't know where his thing is.
Look at all of this. UC SysDef certainly isn't taking the Crimson Fleet threat lightly.
As a member of the Crimson Fleet, you'll get a unique view into their operations. Make sure to spare no detail in your reports.
This is his office. Okay. Damn, his father was killed by the Crimson Fleet.
I saw one of the ensigns get an Alpha Centauri
This
from
is
Officer
be
Petroleum
careful.
the other day.
Don't underestimate. While you're running with, it's going to be do what you. That's why I expect you to look. If there's a route to use your instinct.
I think we've already talked to him about that.
Report back when you're done.
We don't have a full map of the fleet's route. Stay the course.
Okay, let's go down to the brig.
Yes, what?
One thing I'll say about Petrosian, ever run into spacers? Scumbags.
Some of the
and
guards don't take
scavengers.
kindly to the
They're like vultures, picking
but
away
we should
the
try to
leftovers in
maintain
the
some
colony
decorum.
war. You'll find
Welcome to the brig. As a member of SysDef, you may talk with the prisoners as long as you are mindful of operation security. As a personal rule, I simply ask that you adhere to UC Navy standards of cleanliness at all times. That means no mud on your boots, your hands are washed, and you are free of any contagious diseases.
Makes sense.
Excellent. And all that being said, I understand your mission directive might call for flex. So if you need to be a rum-drinking, swashbuckling pirate to do your job, then
Okay. What are your thoughts on the commander?
he's a good man, singularly focused when it comes to the fleet. But that's not to say he doesn't care about his crew. I can tell you a story as an example if you'd like to hear it.
Sure. Go ahead, I've got time.
So, I'm a bit of a workaholic, and I forget to take breaks. One day, Commander Ikande passes by the brig and sees me at my desk. He takes one look at my haggard face and says, "Officer, I'm headed to the mess hall. If you're not with me in 15 minutes, your services will no longer be required on my ship." I tried to protest, but he was dead serious. So I went. We had lunch, talked about old times, and I went back to the brig, refreshed and ready to work. It's little things like that. You can see he pays attention, and that he cares about the people, not just the work.
Alright. What if the prisoners try to escape? What kind of defenses do we have?
We have multiple turrets attached to the ceiling. If you've met Ensign Betty,
Jesus!
she certainly calibrated them to ensure they cover the entire area. That being said, firing the turret should be considered a last resort.
What kind of prisoners end up in the brig?
The cells you see here are for captured pirates and prisoners of war. If you apprehend any pirates during the course of your missions, they'll be detained here.
Okay. How do you handle the treatment of the prisoners?
That's a loaded question. We err on the side of caution here, short of any physical abuse. But with the Crimson Fleet, you have to be very careful. If you give them an inch, they'll take a parsec and find a way to stab you with it.
Yeah, security should be a top priority.
That's the idea. We will always err on the side of security, given the choice. But I'll be the first to admit it's not an exact science, and we've made mistakes in the past with both the carrot and the stick. As chief officer of this brig, my worst fear is that we'll someday repeat them.
The brig officer, is there anything you need from me?
As a matter of fact, I have a favor to ask.
Okay.
I understand that part of your undercover work involves going to the fleet headquarters, namely the key. While you're there, if you find anything pertaining to the history of the fleet, I'd be interested in learning about it.
Okay, history of the fleet. There's a lot we
I
can both
agree.
learn.
Just keep in mind this is a favor and you're free to ignore it. I only ask because this is such a rare opportunity and I'd hate to pass it up.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
I appreciate it. I've actually heard rumors about there being audio logs for an interview the founder of the fleet, Jasper Crix, did on the key. I'm interested in anything he had to say regarding his time in prison and how the prisoners were treated. If you find anything like that, bring it back here and we'll take a listen.
Why the fascination with the fleet's history?
The fleet and the UC are intertwined, and I've always felt knowing that past is an important part of what we do. In life, history can be a guide, a warning, or at times, a reflection. And if you want to know which one it is, you have to stare it in the face, regardless of how ugly it is.
Okay, is there any problem securing Austin Rake?
No, the prisoner surrendered willingly, as per the terms of your deal. This is probably the safest place for him. if the fleet want him dead.
I would say so
You can
too.
chat with him if you haven't already. I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Okay, let's see if we can get any
Keep the floors
intel.
and your nose clean, and you can stay as long as you like.
Girl, calm down here.
I guess you think I have some sad story to tell? That I met some sick orphans on New Homestead and grew a conscience? Or maybe you're the cynical type, and you think I turned a new leaf because I wanted SysDev to go easy on me.
No, you just wanted out.
Truth is a bit more complicated than that.
The truth is always complicated. Nope, they explain it to me. The truth is not always complicated. The truth is pretty simple sometimes.
You see, at my age, you know who you are. And I've always been a thief. I'd swipe a cred stick for my own mother if it had enough zeros on it. But even in a group of cred-hungry thieves, a man has to have a code. Rules.
You mean honor among thieves?
I do. You finish a job, it's supposed to be done. You get the rush and the relief. But in the fleet, doing the job isn't the hard part. In the fleet, you gotta worry about the guy sleeping next to you, and if he's gonna take a bigger piece of the pie. You gotta wake up the next morning and wonder why your slice is missing and the crumbs are stuck to his face.
Would you be interested in working for SysDev?
And put a bigger target on my back? As far as I'm concerned, the brig is the safest place I can be. The second you drag me into some private room, you're basically telling everyone here that I'm a rat.
Who mentioned you changed your identity?
Yeah, I've had some work done. If you got the Crimson Fleet on your back, you would too. As for the name, that was actually the hard part. You can use 100 different aliases and the system will just add them to the list.
True.
Now you can pay a guy to delete the list, but nothing's ever really gone forever.
True.
We paid the same guy to hit rewind, and here we are. Well, for one,
Makes
they
sense.
don't have much in the way of loot, but they're still important to somebody. You can't just blow up one without it showing up on SSNN, or UC Captain getting a 10-inch stack of slates on his desk. But more importantly, do-gooders are predictable. The pirate code changes depending on who's reciting it. Honest folks, they have a habit of writing their rules down. Why did I join the Regana? Truth is, I just wanted a good night's sleep.
I mean, I get it. Did we get the other? Is the other guy up here? I wonder why we just turned off all the lights on the man.
Hey.
All right. Primordial. Wow, and we got the frozen ecosystem. There's the lock. Just land down here. We do need to get lubricant somewhere.
Beginning landing cycle.
It's not going to be here. It's an ice planet. And I want to see what I'm going to ultimately need here. What do I need? Okay, that's up. Chemicals. Food to drink items. Hold on, I'm in the wrong space. I need to go up.
I heard you're fluent in over 24 verbal and body languages. Remarkable.
There we go.
You are the greatest. No, better than the greatest. I know that's grammatically impossible, but somehow you managed to do it.
So, Miss Stay Up Late reading under the covers? Did you learn anything new from your book last night?
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate. That's so
I'm doing
cool.
an oral history
But
of
I guess it only
Constellation's
worked
most
because they
decorated
just lived on
members.
one planet.
It's
And
just
that
me
sounds
repeating your name
boring.
into a data slate for 5 hours.
Remind me one of these days to tell you the tale of a certain Solomon Coe and where his star.
Good thing you had the schematics for that.
Okay.
This all feels like a dream. So if anyone tries to fish in the
Drink. Yeah, we're not gonna have enough. We don't have it. Eggs. All right, thanks for coming out for our story stream Saturdays. We're playing some Starfield in this one. I'm really loving the game, so we will definitely get into that. So thanks for coming out. Don't forget to leave a like below, comments, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Later.